Before we begin, I want you to try something. Close your eyes for just 3 seconds and try to remember the exact color of the shirt of the last person you spoke to. Now try to remember if they were wearing a watch or which hand they used to gesture. Most people can't do this. Their brains have already deleted that information to save space. But if you are the kind of person who notices the slight quiver in a coworker's voice, the dust on a bookshelf in a new room, or the exact moment a friend's smile becomes forced, and yet you choose to say absolutely nothing, your brain is operating on a different frequency. You aren't just quiet. You are a shadow strategist. While others are using their energy to speak, you are using yours to map. You are gathering the subtext of reality, building a 4K resolution model of the world that most people only see in low definition. Today we are going to deconstruct the psychology of the silent observer. We will explore the leaky thalamus that gives you this vision, the information asymmetry that keeps you silent, and why your nothing is actually everything. In our previous exploration of traumatic intelligence, we touched on the idea that the brain can be rewired by pressure. But for the person who notices everything, the root is often found in a neurological state called reduced latent inhibition. In a standard brain, the thalamus acts as a strict bouncer. It sees the flickering of a light bulb or the background noise of a cafe and categorizes it as irrelevant. It never even reaches your conscious mind. But in your brain, the bouncer is lenient. You experience a leaky filter. You are constantly bombarded with high-fidelity data. As Malcolm Gladwell explores in his work Blink, the mind is capable of thin slicing, making massive conclusions based on tiny slivers of experience. For you, thin slicing isn't a choice. It's an automatic reflex. You see the glitch in the matrix before the matrix even realizes it's broken. Why do you stay silent? To the outside world, it looks like shyness or perhaps a lack of confidence. But psychologically, your silence is a form of information asymmetry. This is a concept often used in economics, but it applies perfectly to social dynamics. By noticing everything and saying nothing, you maintain a data surplus. You know the motives, the insecurities, and the hidden agendas of the people in the room, but they know nothing of yours. This is the quiet master protocol. You realize that the moment you speak your observation, you spend your advantage. If you tell someone you notice they are lying, they will change their tactic. But if you say nothing, you can watch the lie unfold and see where it leads. Your silence isn't a lack of opinion. It is a tactical reserve. You're waiting for the moment where your insight will have the most impact. Or you are simply deciding that most people aren't worth the energy cost of your truth. If you've ever sat through a conversation knowing exactly what was going to happen next, but you chose to let it play out in silence, comment the word surplus below. As we've discussed in our red thread of childhood adaptations, this level of awareness is often forged in the need for environmental predication. If you grew up in a household where you had to be a sentinel, constantly scanning for the vibe of a parent or the tension in a room, you learned that saying something could be dangerous, but knowing something was survival. In his book, The Gift of Fear, Gavin de Becker explains that true intuition is a cognitive process that happens faster than the conscious mind can track. You became a master of the read. You learned to hide your intelligence to avoid being a target. This created a shadow identity where your most powerful self lives entirely behind your eyes. You are the sentinel who never went off duty. You are still scanning, still mapping, and still staying quiet because in your deepest subconscious, silence is still the safest place to hold the truth. There's a massive cognitive tax to being the person who notices everything. When you are too aware, you aren't just seeing, you are processing. Your brain is constantly running simulations. If I say this, they will react like that. If I point out the flaw, the meeting will last an hour longer. This leads to a state of social exhaustion. While others leave a party feeling energized, you leave feeling like you've just finished a marathon. You've been managing the unspoken energy of the entire room. This is the observer's paradox. The more you see, the heavier the world feels. This is why you likely have a high intensity need for solitude. You don't need to be away from people. You need to be away from the data that people produce. You need to reset your thalamic gate so you can finally stop the data upload. The goal of understanding this psychology isn't just to validate your silence, it's to help you use it with intention. Being a shadow strategist is a superpower, but only if you aren't a prisoner of your own observations. You must learn the art of selective disclosure. You don't have to say everything, but you should practice saying the one thing that shifts the room. Instead of holding the vault of observations until it feels like a burden, learn to release a single high-intensity insight. As the psychologist Susan Cain discusses in Quiet, the power of the observer is their ability to bring a depth of thought that the loud world lacks. Your silence is the soil, but your words, when they finally come, are the harvest. Don't be afraid to be the truth machine when the world needs a lens. Your silence isn't an absence of thought, it is a density of it. You are the watcher on the wall, the seer in the crowd, and the architect in the shadows. The world may not always see what you see, but your vision is what keeps the world on its axis. If this video helped you feel a little lighter and gave you a new way to see yourself, please press like and share it with a friend, someone who may also be tired of the noise from a mind that never truly rests. Your understanding today might be exactly the comfort they need. Thank you for watching until this moment. I'm Milo. This has been a journey through the Silent Vault. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss our next deep dive into the hidden layers of the human mind. Until then, keep your eyes open and your spirit protected. See you in the next frequency. Goodbye for now.